know who your son's father is?
She thought she could keep the lie going, but the court saw through it. The evidence was undeniable, and now she's facing the consequences. 5 years behind bars. Was it worth it?
Now, Ms. Sear, you say you have proof that Mr. Manser is Dylan's father. You argue you are here to prove again that he is the father of your son, to finally stop him running from his responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
She was sure he'd never question it, but the truth had a way of surfacing. Now the courts are involved, and her plan is falling apart. What happens next might change everything.
But as far as intimacy, we was together one time, and I hate to be crude, but it was a one-night stand.
For nothing.
I don't think after all of this that has transpired, it really matters whether it was a one-night stand
Right.
or a
It does matter.
two-day trip.
My biggest concern.
The point is you all had a sexual relationship
Right.
at some point, so there is a possibility.
But when the test results came in, everything changed. He wasn't expecting this, and neither was she. Now the truth is out, and there's no going back.
And so
And
you
you did
showed
that,
up
huh?
for court, and what
No,
happened?
I wasn't
No, he
able
didn't
to. I
show
wasn't
up.
able to show up for court. I was completely on the other side of the state. I was indigent. I was living at my mom's. Didn't have a job at the time, so I didn't show up for court. And I was named the natural father by.
She thought she had won. But the truth couldn't stay hidden forever. When he finally challenged the ruling, everything began to unravel. Now justice is catching up with her.
I hadn't met him until he was like 15 years after I initiated contact
11.
for my son Chris. I wanted.
So wait,
But I
now
paid-
are
I
you
paid the ultimate
convinced he
price
is the
for that
father?
possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because I have had a DNA test done, and I have the results right here. Would you like a
Wasn't I
copy of
supposed-
it?
Questions lingered, but one thing was clear. Her involvement made everything suspicious. Was it just a coincidence? Or was there something more? The truth was about to come out.
I mean,
Ms. Sear, your evidence clearly states that there was a laboratory test performed.
Yes, ma'am.
I see here.
I don't think it happened. I think she worked in the lab and that she's had this thing manufactured. So.
Actually, at that time, I worked at a plasma center. I harvested plasma with 16-gauge needles. Had nothing to do with DNA.
I'm sure that, when you're in a business, you know other people
Now, what's
that's in a business.
interesting to me is that for alleged father, it's entirely blank.
That's right.
Meaning
Imagine that.
there is no social security number.
That's right.
There is no address.
She forgot
there
to put
is
that
no
part in there.
information about you. It's all blank. There's no picture of you. There's no photograph.
She didn't have that information. That's right. Exactly.
So obviously, your contention that you didn't show up, you weren't there for this particular test is
You're
true.
right.
Because there's no evidence that you were there on that
That's exactly
day.
right. Thank
We've
you, Your
established
Honor.
that.
Thank you.
We do, however, see a lab record of a collection taken on May the 1st, 1995, which they claim was you. Thank you for joining us. Now, Dylan, I want to know about your relationship with your father.
I feel I don't know him that well.
We don't. We don't know each other.
Go ahead, son.
I love Chris though. We've spent a lot of time together.
Your brother.
Yep.
We're gonna be brothers no matter what. No matter what happens after today.
I can't respect someone talking so much harmful to my mother like
And
that.
that's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that.
What do you want from today, Dylan?
I haven't seen either one of them in over a year
There's a
now.
daughter on the way.
I have a daughter due in November.
The tension was palpable as they awaited. The results. When the truth was finally revealed, everything changed. The fallout was inevitable.
DNA diagnostics. And because this is a very special case, and we've had previous DNA testing done in which our plaintiff questions the chain of custody of the specimen, the actual sample that was collected.
Right. No, there's no doubt the results of this.
You filled out the proper forms.
That's right.
Including your names, date of birth, social security number.
That's right.
And you signed them, right?
Yep.
You presented photo IDs.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
there wasn't a friend of mine there either.
Not
That's
a
why
friend
these will be
there.
accurate.
The lab, because of the sensitivity of this issue, ran 2 tests.
Nice.
The results are as follows. In the case of Manser versus Sear, Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
The DNA test would reveal everything. As the results came in, the room fell silent. The truth was more shocking than anyone expected.
Years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why I did what I did.
But this
and
is
she should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I did
Mr.
not.
That is
Manser,
fraud.
Mr. Manser,
That is fraud.
I know you're upset. Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow.
After his release, he fought to uncover the truth. When a new test proved he wasn't the father, the real question emerged. Who would be held accountable for the injustice he suffered? Muhammad Abbas, Miss Sear, is determined to prove that Mr. Maneh is the father of her son, Dylan, and wants him to take financial responsibility. She claims to have solid evidence, while Mr. Maneh insists their encounter was a one-night stand, though Miss Sear believed they were in a relationship. When he missed the initial court hearing, the court ruled him the father by default. He disputes this decision, arguing that the DNA test used was done without his consent, and questioning its validity, especially since Miss Sear has worked in a lab for years. A lab record from Mayfair, 1995, lists a DNA sample supposedly from Mr. Maneh, but to settle the matter once and for all, both parents recently submitted new samples for testing. Meanwhile, Dylan, the son at the center of the dispute, shared that he lacks a strong bond with Mr. Maneh, but remains close with his brother, Chris. Regardless of the outcome, he considers their sibling relationship unbreakable. He also expressed frustration over negative remarks about his mother and hopes for a respectful resolution. In a surprising turn, Dylan revealed that he is expecting a daughter in November, which could make Mr. Maneh both a father and a grandfather. If the results confirm paternity, due to previous concerns over the handling of DNA tests, extra precautions were taken this time, ensuring proper identification, signed consent, and strict chain of custody protocols. 2 separate tests were conducted for accuracy, Muhammad Abbas. But the DNA results told a different story. Her confidence shattered as the truth unraveled, leaving her with no defense. The man she deceived stood firm, his trust forever broken. This case took a shocking twist. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment below. If you enjoy analyzing cases like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to The Trial Room.